Hey, what's up? It's Keith Kalfas. Let me ask you a question. Do you want to master the profitability inside of your business? If so, then I want you to join me for a free live virtual event this July 26th being hosted by myself and CPA, accounting, and profitability expert, Robert Govro. Inside of this live event, we're going to be going over how much money is coming into your business, learn how much money is going out, what are your profit margins, everything in between. This is so important. Math is the path. So if you want to learn all this stuff, click the link and sign up, register for this free live event. And the coolest thing is, not only during the event are you going to learn a bunch of stuff that you can implement into your business, but after the event, you're going to get a free PDF download with all the key insights, financial data, and takeaways that you can study and implement into your business. So click the link, sign up for this free live virtual event being hosted by Jobber, July 26th. I'll see you there. What's up? It's Keith Kalfas with this business money program. I'm so excited we're here because this piece of content, we're going to talk about multiple accounts. This information changed my life. I'm going to share with you why I have 17 bank accounts. You probably don't want that many bank accounts, or you might, I don't know, but I'm going to show you all of this. So I'm really excited that you're here. First of all, I grew up dirt poor on welfare, food stamps. We lived in multiple homes, all that stuff. Really, actually poor. And so I was obsessed growing up with how do I manage money so I will never be broke. And it was, even though it was a lot of fear motivation, like now it's more incentive motivation and I'm excited. But I became obsessed with this stuff. I've read literally hundreds of books and I've paid financial wizards thousands of dollars and done tons of study and research to come up with my own formula. So I can't say that this formula will work for you. But there are formulas out there like Profit First, by Mike Michalowicz, and tons of other financial stuff, but this is what I use in my business. So take what you, and my life, personal and business, take what you like out of this, but go do something right away, and then discard what you don't like. But you might want to revisit this video again in a couple years, and it might all make sense to you. I don't know exactly where you're at, but here goes. Multiple accounts. You want multiple accounts so you don't commingle your funds or commingle your money. I have 17 accounts. And what you don't want to do is called commingling. That should make sense. That's where you're taking things and hodgepodging them together that don't belong. For personal, for organizational reasons, and for IRS and tax reasons. And if like the IRS ever audited you for some reason, if you were doing something stupid like running a bunch of cash through your business and not claiming and showing where that money came from and paying proper taxes on that, right? As long as you have articles of incorporation and you're running business through U.S. citizenship and these kind of public style bank accounts, you gotta pay taxes and you gotta do all that stuff. That's what like 99% of everybody does. So if you play the game, you gotta play by their rules. That's very deep what I just said. So don't get mad, just get glad, play by their rules. We've already talked about the 30% rule, why you should save 30% of all money for taxes, and I'm gonna talk about all this in all these accounts. So the first account, let's just go straight to business. This is one business account, which you got your articles of incorporation and your EIN number, which is your business's kind of like social security number. It's the legal entity. And you go and you're going to open up a business account. Now that business account is where you put all the checks and all the cash and all that money that flows into your business, all the revenue goes directly into the business account. B1. B1 business checking account. B1C, business one checking account. Now, if you're a single member LLC, and I'm not a tax advisor, I can't give you any actual advice. I'm just saying, like some people just run everything through one account, and at the end of the year, they just dump it all in their accountant. And as long as the IRS gets all their money and all that money is accounted for, you pretty much could be good to go. But as you're growing your business and you kind of start to get employees or you start to grow your life, you don't want to do that because you're kind of, in a way, commingling all that money inside of one account, right? So after you cross, I don't know, 50, 60,000 a year, you're probably going to open up separate accounts. So the second account that I have is a BS, B1S, a business savings account. So that business savings account is where 30% of all gross profits. I was doing all gross revenue. I was putting 30% of everything that came through my business into this account, and it was just like this And then I learned that, wait a second, I was doing it wrong. I was wrong. I was over saving. So I was working 100 hours a week because I was terrified putting 30% into this account. And then actually being scared, having misinformation worked in my benefit because I actually hustled harder out of fear. Well, it caused me a lot of stress, and was able to oversave for taxes. So I would pay taxes at the end of the year. I'll answer your question in a second. Just listen. I would oversave for taxes. And at the end of the year, after I paid my taxes, I'd be like, I thought I was gonna owe like this much. And I would only owe like just this normal amount. And be like, why do I have this extra money? Am I underpaying taxes? And I started getting all this advice and realizing that I was over saving for taxes. I was totally paying the share fair amount. But you wanna have a business checking account so you can run all your business revenue through. You wanna put 30% of the gross profits. So you wanna figure out what the gross profit margin is. Because the reason why, let's say your gross profit margin is 50%. Okay, so, so 30% of the 50%, right? But just to be safe, you might want to put like 20% of all gross revenue into that savings account. So, if you get what I'm saying. 20% of all the gross revenue, you got to figure out what's best for you. You got to sit down with a CPA and figure that number out. I'm putting 30% of all gross profit, okay? And what that means is like, if you do 100 grand in the year, you're probably going to want to put 20 grand into that account. That's 20% of gross revenue. If you're doing like, so does that make sense? All right, so business savings account. The next account that I have is the payroll account. Okay. So money comes into the business checking, money gets set aside for taxes, and also money gets dispersed into the payroll account. So every single week I do Friday finances. FF is Friday finances. And that's when I'm paying the bills, putting money in the savings account, putting money in the payroll account. And every time money comes in to the business checking account, not every time, but every single Friday. So the money's constantly flowing and flowing and flowing in. And every Friday I'm going constantly dispersing the money. If I got a check for 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 grand, I don't care if I got a check for $1 million, it's going to come into that business checking account. Automatically, I'm going to put that fat chunk away into here. I'm going to put a whole bunch into the payroll, and then I'm going to probably, if I got $1 million check, I'm going to call my accountant immediately to make sure I can just get the taxes paid on it so I can take the free and clear money and disperse it into other accounts and do all the right things with it. But every time money comes in, it's getting dispersed into these accounts. So you draw this line down the center. This is your business. Now, if you got a bigger business and it's running a lot more, let's say you're doing, I don't know, over $1 million, you might want to have another account that's an operating expenses account, where now you're putting a percentage of that into operating expenses. You might have like crews that have gas cards. You might have like a mechanic running around and he's buying shit. You might have all this stuff. So you want to have a, what's the word, compartmentalized. You want your money compartmentalized in different accounts. And you might all want those all hooked up to, like, I don't actually do this, but I'm just showing if you want to go bigger. You might have these hooked up to credit card accounts that they're hooked up on credit, not directly to debit. So therefore you're getting the points and you got people with gas cards and things going on and money in your business all being tied to this expenses account. Like, that's a little bit bigger of a business. So I'll just sanction that off. But you want to have these three main accounts for sure. Business checking, business savings, and payroll. Now over here, I drew this line because this is your business and this is your personal, okay? You should only be putting money into your personal accounts. How can I say this? If you're an LLC, through payroll. Okay? So this is the next account that you want to have is your personal checking. So you can have all this at the same bank. If you're like kind of, you want to diversify your risk, you want to have it at a couple different banks. You might want to have all your business going on at like a big bank, like a Chase or Bank of America or Huntington or PNC Bank, and then maybe you want to have all your personal accounts at like a more of a smaller bank, like a like a Christian Financial Credit Union or some type of credit union type of bank. I have all my accounts at the same bank, and I have another joint account with my wife at a credit union bank, right? Building credit over there and stuff. But the money gets dispersed bi-weekly to save money, because some people, you do paycheck every Friday, or you could do bi-weekly. I like to do bi-weekly because it saves on payroll disbursements. Once you hire a payroll company, they're going to charge you to process the payroll, do the paperwork, all the little internal stuff, and mail the money off to state, FICA, Medicare, Social Security, Unemployment Insurance Agency, all this crap, pay-by-pay workers' comp. You don't want to do all that stuff yourself. You want to hire a payroll company and pay them their fee, because you could better use that time instead of doing it all yourself to save money. You could just go do more jobs in your business and make the money, and then just pay a company to do that. So you're going to have a payroll company in between here, like a software, and then they will be the mediator that makes the disbursements. And then you hook up your bank accounts to the payroll company, and then they take the money in, pull the taxes out. Whoa. Take the money in, they pull the taxes out, and they put the payroll into yours and to your employees' accounts. These are your accounts, not your employees' accounts, but I could draw like an arrow over here. And then like if you have employees, that's their accounts. So the next account that you want to have is your personal savings account. So just like over here, a percentage of money coming in you want to save. Well, every time you have money coming in through payroll, you want to take a percentage of that money and save it. It could be 10% of all the money that comes in. So if you make 50 grand a year, you save 10%, you're saving 5 grand. And you might do that at, was it 6 times 5 is 12? So 600 a month? Yeah, 600 bucks a month. So that could be 150 bucks a week or something you're saving. So if you're saving that money, then you're building up money into your personal savings account with after-tax dollars. So you've already paid the taxes on that money, so you know that's yours, kind of free and clear. So the money's coming into personal checking, saving into personal savings. Now you can open up more accounts. Like this could be your, I have an account called a winter savings account. This has helped me a lot. I know that this is insane. I have to hustle 7 days a week to work, so like 40 hours pays the bills. What you do after 40 hours creates success. I have a seasonal business in Michigan. We do landscaping and window cleaning. So I know in the winter from about December 1st to about April 1st, unless you plow snow, there's not really going to be a lot of money coming in unless you have other side hustles. So what I do is I do all the math and I say, how much does it cost me to live all of December, January, February, and all of March? That's 4 months. So that's 8 months on, 4 months off. Well, I got to go out and work 25% more to make and save all that extra money. So that way, if I did nothing all winter long, I could just literally coast. Now I don't, I hustle like crazy. And then, so how much does it cost you to live each month? Let's say it costs you 5 grand a month. I'm just making up a number for you to live and pay all your bills. Well, 5, 10, 15, 20. You might want to have 20,000 set aside just in that winter savings account of after-tax dollars, just to make through the winter. That's a pretty big chunk of money. But when I put that in my head in the springtime, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta hustle because the winter's coming. I gotta put away nuts like a squirrel. So I go insane and just work like crazy and put all that money away. Then the goal is when the winter comes to not touch any of that money. Let's see how much I can hustle in the winter so I don't even have to touch that money. And you might be able to hustle so you don't even touch that money until February. January, February, or March. Or maybe like a whole winter goes by. It took 3 years, but you never even had to touch that money. Now you got leftover money in the tax account, you got leftover money in the savings account, you got winter. Now you can reinvest in your business. I don't know. But the next one is an emergency savings account. That's like a rainy day fund. Next account, you can have an IRA, which is totally different. That's not a bank account, but the money goes into the IRA. I have an account because I'm a homeowner called a home repair savings account, HRSA. It's just a savings account. So at your bank, you can go open up savings accounts. And I've called the bank. I've gotten nervous because I hear people do this, but then I call them like, well, if I'm opening up a bunch of accounts, does it look weird? I don't know about you, but my bank, Bank of America, told me that it's okay. You can have a whole bunch of accounts. It doesn't matter. They're your accounts. I'm like, yeah, but doesn't it look funny? I have all these accounts. I guess not to them because they can see all your accounts and see all your transactions. So it's just the way I like to organize my money. There is this thing called YNAB, You Need a Budget, YNAB. My friend, who's a really rich guy, he only has a couple accounts, but he has this app, and then the app organizes all the money, super crazy organized, so he knows inside of the app, but it's just a couple accounts. Does this make sense? I looked into it, and I was like, I'm just gonna stick with what I'm doing, but you could do what you're doing. My home repair savings account, the goal is to get to and stop when that account reaches $5,000, in case something like your roof gets destroyed and insurance won't cover it, or like your basement floods, which happened to me. It cost $30,000 to fix. And we do have insurance, but like whatever happens around your house, something with the gutters, the paint, projects around the house, the floor, home repair savings account is a cushion that I just put $50 a week. Every single week, $50, $50, $50, $50, $50, $50, and that thing grew to $2,000, $2,500, $3,000, $34,000. I hit like over $5,000 in my home repair savings account, and my basement flooded. It took me all the way down to zero, and I've built my way back up. It's probably got like $3,400 in there right now, and I just keep putting money. I think of it like silos of grain. Like you have what you need here, but you keep storing more in different areas for different reasons. So when things pop up or things, it's not only like they pop up, it's not a matter of like if it happens, it's a matter of when. All this stuff is gonna happen. You're gonna have insurance, you're gonna have taxes, you're gonna have rainy days, you're gonna have storms, so if you have multiple accounts set up to cover all that stuff, then, because if you have all your money in just one account and you're like, wow, I have whatever the number is for you that feels like a lot of money. It could be $12,000, $15,000, $73,000, $500,000. Wow, I have this much money. It fools your mind into thinking you have a lot of money. You might go do something stupid. Let's go buy an RV camper for $27,000 cash. And then brrr, your money goes down. So if I was gonna buy something, because I have an account called a Freedom account, this is saving up for our first piece of real estate or Airbnb or something. And I just been putting like, put $100 a week in there for 3 years. And if that account is at $10,000, $13,000, $20,000, whatever that number is, that's specifically for saving up for investments. You might have a play account that's specifically $500 a month in there, goes for just playing and having fun, and you got to spend it. You got to go have some fun in your life, right? Now, this is all saying like that you make enough money to do all this, because here's the thing. If you don't make a whole lot of money yet, some of these accounts might just be empty. The trick is find out a little tiny percentage. This trick changed my life. We were flat broke living in a 1-bedroom apartment with an eviction notice. I took a whole bunch of envelopes and I wrote like gas, phone, electric, cable, internet, savings, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Trip to up north Michigan to have some fun. I would literally just put like $2, $3, $15 each week. And then this is just like the first year of business when I was obviously paid all my taxes, but I had it was a little tiny bit of cash. We're talking about like almost nothing. And then I converted over to the bank accounts. But what I mean is you could have just little teeny tiny bits of money flowing into here. This could literally be $130, $86, $1,100. But the whole point is to instill the habit of having these multiple accounts that every single week when you do I do my Friday finances, you could do Saturday finances. You are dispersing the money. So it's like you put a ball in and it goes down the things and the tickets pop out. Well, this is like you put the money in, like a handful of change, and it splits up all the quarters and nickels and dimes and pennies and silver dollars and gold coins, and they all go into their own allotted spots. So you're never fooled with how much money you have. But like, no, we can't go get that. I can't go get that fancy thing. We only have, you might have $50,000. But we only have $2,500 here. There's not enough money to buy that thing. I can't go pull money from the taxes account. I can't go pull money out of the home repair savings account. Listen to what I'm saying. What are you talking about? This is the retirement account. What do you mean I'm going to pull money out of retirement to go buy this thing? No, I can't. I'm going to pull money out of the payroll account? We can't buy this thing. There's not enough money. See? That's how you become a financial frickin' wizard when it comes to saving money. But so there's a saying that sales solve all problems. Yeah. So once you got all this set up, this is easy. You're out on the front end hustling and selling and learning how to sell and close higher ticket jobs at more frequency, more consistency, selling more to your customers and packages, and you're bringing in the money and the cashola, and your job is to make it rain up here. You're like, oh, we don't have any money. Did I get this friend, Eric Reno? Dude's a millionaire. He has a roofing company and real estate and all this stuff. Dude walks around, doesn't carry any cash. But I don't got no money. I need some freaking money. Doug dude's making millions. I ain't got no money. This dude, because he's so organized, he's up on the front just making it rain. And now he's got sales guys making it rain because he's always like, what's next? What's next? When you have a positive expectancy and enthusiasm and you have all these accounts set up, you get motivated because you want to see, you can do this. You got this. I feel like I'm getting too far ahead, and I don't want to. But I want you to just open your mind for a second and think. You're looking at this little account way down here. I want to get this account to that $5,000 mark, right? It's only at like $130. You're like, $5,000, that's so far away. The only way I'm going to get this little account way down here to that $5,000 mark is I got to bring in a whole bunch of money up here to get it to trickle down. So the little tiny crumbles of gold go into this account. I've done this in my life, and I have all these accounts. And I'm not a super risky type of dude. I'm just a small guy. I'm not a big shooter. I'm a small shooter that keeps on shooting. But I have watched some other people go through some hard times that were also hustlers that work hard and get to the point where they barely have any money just because all the stuff that goes on in life. And I've watched through the thick and thin, even when things got hard, me and my family, we still had money in the bank because I put away for those rainy days. And even though something that hit us went boom and sucked that account all the way down to low, the money was in the account. When the truck blew up, the money was in the account, right? When I needed a new chainsaw or weed whip or backpack blower, the money was in the account. So go set up all these multiple bank accounts, business checking and savings and payroll, those three. And then on your personal side, you want a personal checking and savings and some type of rainy day fund. So that's about 6 accounts. Once you get all those set up, you might be asking, what are the other accounts? I have another account for, it's called the Good Faith Fund. It's just an account for giving. Back in like 2016 or 17, both of my trailers got broken into and I got robbed and they stole all my stuff. It was like $4,200 worth of stuff. And some YouTube follower, I still know him to this day, he went and created a GoFundMe for me. I just talked about it on YouTube and I was like, they stole all my stuff. I don't know what to do. I forgive them. And I woke up the next morning and somehow the video got shared all over the place and this guy created a GoFundMe for me. And my YouTube videos, this does not happen. Like, I'm not a lucky guy. I grew up very poor, never had anything handed to me. A bunch of people gave me money. And then the next morning I woke up, it was like $4,700 or something. All these people had given me through GoFundMe. I didn't even ask for this, right? And I had the idea of a GoFundMe because a friend told me about it, and I actually went and I created one, but I was like, no, I can't share that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. It's like, it just didn't feel right. It's my responsibility to do my own business, and some other guy beat me to it and created a real GoFundMe for me and started sharing it, and I just didn't feel right with the money, so I created an account. And I never touched any of the money, and I just kind of like gave it away to like charities and stuff and orphanages. And so it's like that money, there's still some in there sitting in there. But if that's an account for giving away, for tithing and giving away. So it says in the Bible and in a lot of wealth and abundance type strategy stuff that if you give money away and you give with your heart without expecting anything in return, it opens the spiritual gateways of blessing that all this other stuff increases. Now, I believe that, and I also logically believe, and in neuroscience, I believe, if you actually feel abundant enough to give from your heart, it does actually make you feel like, yeah, I do. I am doing great. I am a hustler, and I do make great money. I love giving away 20s to homeless people or something like that. Yeah, so that very feeling actually increases your personal abundance the way you just feel, and you actually make more money because of it. It's a real thing. I've watched it happen in my life. So yes, there's another account. If you want to know what other accounts, one is just like PayPal, which is internet stuff, like money in PayPal. And then, oh yeah, the other one is the joint checking and savings with my wife. Oh, I have another joint account with my wife. Covers all the household utilities and groceries and personal stuff and paying for pets and everything, just household stuff. What else? I think that's about it. So that's kind of crazy because I've been doing this for a while, but just go open up some more accounts and label them whatever you see fit. This is my own kind of unique proprietary thing. I didn't take this from anybody, but do something. Open up multiple bank accounts, and I really hope that helps you. I hope that serves you. Leave a comment below, and I'm really excited to bring you this information. So this is what I want you to do. If you don't have a sketch pad, get a notepad, get something. I like to go to Five Below and get a big sketch pad with some markers and just sit down with the calculator and kind of figure out like a budget, figure out money and draw circles and boxes. This is what works for me. Maybe you like spreadsheets. Go on Google Sheets, right? I have a bookkeeper and an accountant, so we do some of this stuff, but figure out what works for you. And then you can go online on the app or call and apply and open up a couple more accounts and start organizing the money and develop a habitual system where you have a one day of the week that you do your finances, and then you sit down and you're dispersing the money in allotted amounts. Now, I used to do a percentage where I'd be like, oh, what is 33% of this? And I was crunching, okay, what is this? And I was crunching all this. I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna round up or down and just put 250 to this, a grand a week to this, you know, $400 a month to this. And that's the same what I do with my credit cards too. So the credit cards are billing and charging, and they're all different amounts. $1,136 for this month, this much here, and just every week I'm just going 250, 500, 500, 250, 250, 500, 200. So they're just even amounts, and then when my bookkeeper sees it too, it's just even amounts. So it's random amounts coming in all the time and in the forms of bills, but I have even amounts just coming out. So I might pay the credit card down all the way down to like $13, but it doesn't matter because I'm just gonna get it again on the next one. So it's like coming in uneven amounts, and you're paying it down in just even chunks. Like imagine if you have a shovel and you're scooping dirt, the shovel is taking about the same amount of time every time. I like these little tiny, the reason I'm talking about this because these weird little analogies and epiphanies in my head help me understand it. Because when you can create things that connect the dots, make you go, oh, it is kind of like carrying buckets of water, and like, that's what can get you excited to where it all clicks. Those little tiny epiphany bridges are what kind of changed my life, because you could have a huge mental block around some of this stuff, and then one day you'll just be like, oh, it's almost, I love cars. It's like, Tony Robbins talks about this. It's like a race car, but the wheels are like the bank accounts, and then the motor and the gas, so like something like that. Figure something out like that works for you, and apply those mental models to other things within your finances, and in no time you'll just be crushing it. And don't despise small beginnings. If you don't have a lot of money, great. Do something like this and keep hustling, and give it about 5 years, you'll be super surprised. All right, I hope that serves you.